This is 1.4. This is multi-step. Equations. I am going to remind you that with multi-step equations, our first step technically is simplify. And then we're going to, most of the time, we're going to add, subtract, multiply, divide. You know, the one thing that really messes us up is part of this right in here, right in between simplify and add, subtract, is we're going to get rid of or kill hard fractions. Okay, and that's kind of what we just did when we worked with the proportions. The proportions technically are hard fractions, but using cross multiplication kills them and turns them into just a regular old problem. Okay? And so sometimes hard fraction kills happen here. Sometimes hard fraction kills happen here. They're technically part of the simplify step. It just depends on how it's set up, what you need to do with it. Okay, and so we'll just continue working on that, although we're going to take a break from hard fractions and just do these steps. And so I'm just going to throw some problems up here, and we're going to take a look at it and see if we already know how to do them. Of course, the goal always is that when I actually introduce something new, we already know how to do it, because I'm barely adding anything to it. So let's just go, let's do this. Let's see if we can figure this one out right here. Let me make, I don't want anything to be bad, so that one wasn't going to work out. X plus 4 plus 3x equals 0. Let's start with something just kind of, well, so we're going to have to simplify. Anytime we get a multi-step equation at this point, we're going to have to simplify. Once I add exponents, it's going to add some more steps to this problem, but the good news is we're not doing exponents in chapter 1. We're going to start using exponents in, I think, chapter 6. So it's going to be a minute. Let's just say when we start exponents, there's a good chance there'll be snow on the ground. Okay. So probably what I need is just combine like terms, right? Because that simplify step, we got the combo terms, and then we got dprop. Okay, definitely we don't have dprop this time, so let's just combine like terms. So a lot of people will add x and 3x and get 3x. That's not what it is. If you add 3x and 3x, you're adding a 1x. I didn't leave enough room. You're adding a 1x. So that's going to be 4x plus 4 equals 0. And now it's a two-step problem. Add, subtract step. 4x equals negative 4. Multiply, divide step. 4 times x, divide by 4, divide by 4. X equals negative 1, and I'm done. Okay, we're getting into the realm of things that you may or may not have done in pre-algebra. You may or may not have understood in pre-algebra. We're getting into the realm of things where it's harder and harder to do the problems in your head. A lot of times, instead of simplify, I say just clean it up. You just want to clean up the problem. You want to make it not as spread out. You want to get rid of clutter. That's kind of what simplify is cleaning it up. So let's go ahead and do another problem, and let's see if we can figure this one out on your own. All right. So when we simplify on just one side of the equal sign. So some people get confused. They want this guy hanging out on the right. Leave him alone. Just simplify on this side. You simplify one expression at a time. An equation has two expressions. It's got a left expression and a right expression. This is as simple as you could possibly get, isn't it? Just a regular old number. Just clean up this side. All right, so again, I'm looking right here. 8 and negative 6 is what, 2n? Minus 2. Could I write instead negative 2 plus 2n? Sure. Order doesn't matter. I just will always write it in this order because it's a better order. That's what you'll normally see it in. And so I try to write what you're going to see in other sources, but you can do it different ways. Now I just add 2. And check my work. It's Friday when we're recording this, so that might mean that my head is someplace different. So always check my work. Check your work. See if it makes sense. And that's that. Okay, we should do something a little more interesting than this to end our Friday. And then I'm going to let you do a little bit of work. Let's try, I don't know if I have room. Let's try something a little more interesting. And this is what it is going to be. Negative 94 equals negative 2. Negative 2. 8 minus 6p minus 6. All right, now we're talking. That's a good problem. What do we think we need to do first? Yes, distributive property. So I'm just going to write this guy down. This, of course, I'm not going to simplify this because it's as simple as it gets for now. I'm going to distribute a property. I'm going to take this negative 2 and distribute right here and right here. So that's going to end up being a negative 16. And negative 2 times a minus 6, or negative 2 times a negative 6, is going to be a positive 12p minus 6. Okay. It's looking good. Let's analyze this again. We're not crossing this equal wall here. We don't cross it when we simplify. We're still in the simplify step. I do see this guy right here, and I see this guy right here. They're going to be like terms, correct? Okay. Remember that minus sign can be changed into a plus and negative. So either way, we can have to add those two together. So we're going to end up with 12p. And that is going to be minus a, 22? Plus 22? Plus 22? Hopefully that's a negative 72. Is that right? Yeah. Check me. And then hopefully I can divide by 12. And hopefully I get an answer that is good. Is that right? Okay. All right, so now we're getting into the stuff that's pretty complicated, right? You know, if your parents are asking you, what are you doing in class? This is the kind of problem you want to show them. Do it right, show them this problem, and then, you know, they're going to be like, you're working hard. you know, maybe you get an extra ice cream out of the deal. That's what I'd negotiate personally. No, you guys aren't going to get an extra. Maybe you can get out of trouble. Well, perhaps my next video should be on how to negotiate getting an extra ice cream out of the deal. Okay.